Well, welcome everyone. This is Rise Up's career panel, February of 2026, our first workshop of the year. And so we have an amazing panel of women from different career backgrounds that will share with you what they do. So I am going to start off with Robin. And Robin, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got in, what your job is, your
Mhm.
title, and anything you want to share about your field.
I am Dr. Robin Stearns, and I say doctor, not to be facetious, but I still owe them $40,000. And so I am going to say doctor every chance I get. And I am the Director of Operations at Dress for Success Chattanooga. So Dress for Success Chattanooga has over 160 affiliates worldwide. We're in Singapore, we are in London, we're in Nashville, Memphis, we're in California. I was in Toronto at their affiliate in October. And what we do is we are women centered nonprofit. So we help women build resumes, do mock interviews, and then we provide them with professional clothing. So we like to say we are more than the dress. So before our women can get any stitch of clothing, they have to do some workforce development training first. So we help them build a resume, if we do it from the ground up. If they have nothing, all they have to do is send us the information that they do have, and we will build a resume. And then we also do mock interviews. So we take the top 10 most asked questions from the United States that are asked, like things, tell me about yourself, tell me your strengths and weaknesses, how do you handle conflict? And we walk through all 10 of those questions and help them formulate an answer that is truthful and that is focused on them. So we help them answer questions like we'll give tips such as if you're going to say a weakness, still make it appear as a strength. So we have to get that equal balance. And so we help them through that. And then we get their resume looking nice. And then we send them home with outfits. So we give them at least 5 to 6 outfits to wear. And then if they bring us back proof that they received a job offer, we'll allow them to get 10 days worth of clothing. And we have everything from dresses to casual wear. We also have handbags, jewelry, undergarments that have never been worn, still with the tags on, accessories, hosiery. And so the ladies really enjoy the handbags. You would think it would be the clothing, but they light up when they get a handbag. And I've been there since July of 2024, and we're having a good time at Dress for Success. I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. So that's all about Dress for Success, nonprofit 501(c)(3) organization.
Oh, that is absolutely amazing. Jennifer, would you like to speak next?
Sure. I work for Aztec Industries. They're a kind of they make like the things that produce like asphalt and concrete for roads and everything. I'm an accountant too, so I'm in finance, and I'm also getting my master's, and Aztec is paying for that. So I'm doing my master's and hopefully my CPA.
That is absolutely amazing. Rachel?
Hey. Hey, everybody. My name is Rachel Indo, and I am currently a program specialist at the National Rural Health Resource Center. We are a nonprofit organization that receives federal funding to assist rural hospitals. So my program specifically, we work with the Medicare Flexibility Program, which is in 45 states across the nation. So we help critical access hospitals to improve their financial and operational status, as well as their quality improvement, do population health. And then also I work with a rural EMS program that's focused on recruitment and retention. So trying to improve EMS access across the nation in rural areas. We do a lot of cool stuff too. Like this week, I'm in DC for a policy institute for rural health. So tomorrow, like a lot of people are going to the Hill to do congressional visits. Today we had lots of congressional speakers come in and talk to us about rural health priorities. My field in general is public health, though, and public health is a really awesome field that I encourage everyone to at least look into if you don't want to pursue it. It's kind of everything outside of clinical health or going to the doctor. So it's things like vaccines, having access to clean water, making sure that people have ways to get physical activity, focusing on your nutrition, and then, of course, the advocacy and policy piece, which means making sure that the government is passing laws that'll help keep us healthy and safe.
That is quite a wide range. Gail?
Hi, I am Gail Sparks. I am a private chef and as well as a chef at an assisted living facility. At the assisted living facility, I am the primary pastry chef, so I deal with all of the cakes, primarily all the desserts. I make our pie crust from scratch and some of our breads from scratch, depending on the day and if our bread order did come in or not. Um, as a private chef, I make everything from their breakfast, if they want me to make them breakfast for the week, their lunch, or their dinner. The husband that I work for is really into muffins. So this past week, whenever I was at their house, I made him some chocolate muffins as well as dinner. My primary love is for Szechuanese cooking. I spent 4 years cooking for a family who was half Japanese and half Chinese, cooking Szechuanese cooked food for them.
Well, that just makes me hungry.
That just makes me want to ask her, what exactly is that?
God.
I need more details, Gail.
Szechuan is a province in China, the Chengdu. It is in southeast China.
Corns make your mouth feel all tingly. It's so good.
It is really good.
Really? Okay.
A little spicy though, right?
It is hotter than Thai hot.
Oh, yeah, way too hot for me.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for that. No, thank you.
So we don't have any participants today, so I'm just going to ask some questions, but feel free if you want to talk a little bit more on whatever advice you have for our teens wanting to go into the career field, please feel free to. But one question is, did you go straight into your career, or did you kind of have a meandering path? Robin, you wanna start us off with it?
Yes, that's fine. So, mine is a windy road. All of my degrees are in education, and I'm not teaching one thing. So, I started off teaching in Hamilton County. I was a science teacher for about 10 years. Then I moved to UTC in the School of Education, and I was a graduate advisor, and I was helping people who already had a degree figure out how they could use that to teach. So I was doing pathways into the education system. And then I moved into nonprofits. So this is my third nonprofit. So I was at the Urban League, and then I went to the Y, and now I'm here. And so I've kind of built up a reputation of programs that are struggling, getting them back on track. And so that's what I've been doing for the past couple of years is get those programs that, not doing so well, getting them back on track, then kind of moving on. So, but I'm still helping people and working with people. I'm very much a people person. So whether it's children or adults, long as I'm doing what I like to do, I'm fine with it. So yeah, I didn't wake up and just like, I really want to go into nonprofits. I really want to be a teacher my entire life, and nonprofits just kind of fell in my lap.
I think that's how most nonprofit people get in there.
Yeah.
Is through that. Jennifer, would you like to share?
Sure. I didn't go get my college degree and start accounting until probably 2020. So I was just kind of just working different kind of jobs. I worked a retail job. And then I decided that I wanted to do something. And I think after I graduated and had my bachelor's, it kind of opened up more doors for me. And that was how I was able to secure my job. So I think that did open a lot of doors for me. That's why I'm continuing with my master's. I think education opens a lot of doors for people.
Yeah, it definitely, I think that it does. And I know sometimes difficult when you're starting out to really figure out exactly what you want to do too.
Yeah.
So education sometimes kind of continues a little bit later too. Rachel?
Yeah, I'm kind of like Robin, where mine's been kind of windy getting there. I started out right out of high school, going to college, and I wanted to pursue nursing, and then just like different life circumstances kept happening, and I had to quit school for a little bit, and then I found a program that I could finish my bachelor's online. So I got my bachelor's online, and then pursued my master's. And then was able to start working. I worked for the government for a little bit doing infection control and then switched to health education and then got a job with a nonprofit doing health education. And then it just kind of transitioned from there. Um, Obviously, highly recommend nonprofit work. I feel like anybody who works in nonprofit will tell you it's wonderful and so rewarding, but it can be draining too. But I think that a
Yes.
lot of times, yeah, people just kind of fall into it. So.
Yes, that has definitely been my experience. Gail?
I think, like everyone here, mine was not a linear decision. For the majority of my adult years, I was a nanny, and the family, half Japanese, half Chinese. I was their nanny. Then I switched to being their household manager, and that grew into me cooking for them. And that was where I discovered my love for cooking. I knew that that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And it wasn't until this year where I started going to culinary school.
Awesome.
That is absolutely amazing. In your careers, there's always one job that you don't hear much about, but you're like, ooh, this would be something interesting for teens to know. Does anyone have anything in their career field that would be an obscure job that many people don't know about, but is actually something really interesting?
For me personally, again, I'm public health, which public health is very, very broad. If you've never heard of it as a topic, I highly recommend looking into it. One thing that I found fascinating is the field of epidemiology, and that is just the study of diseases and how they spread. So epidemiologists just look at disease trends, they look at how diseases spread, they track all that data, and then they put out recommendations about like if you have this condition and you're immunocompromised, you're more likely to get this infection. So here's what you can do to prevent that. As someone who thinks infectious disease is so fascinating, epidemiology is amazing. And it helps us in so many ways. So yeah, I'll just plug epidemiology there. I personally couldn't do it because I can't sit on a computer all day and look at an Excel spreadsheet. But the work that epidemiologists do is absolutely amazing. And you can get a start with it with just like a public health bachelor's, but if you have a master's, that helps. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's just knowing the statistical softwares. So as long as you can learn a software, you'll be good to go.
That
I'm all
sounds
about
like
women
there's,
breaking into fields that are male dominated. My out of my 7 years at UTC, I spent 3 years with CRNAs, certified registered nurse anesthetist. And so you think that only anesthesiologists provide your anesthesia for your surgery, but it's not. It's nurses with doctoral degrees in anesthesiology that do it. And so it is highly male dominated. It is a coveted secret with male nurses. And so what I was responsible for was getting the word out to women and minorities about this program. So if you think about going into nursing and want to bump it up, CRNA, Certified Registered Nurse Anesthetist. And so they make great money, and you have to work in a critical care unit for 3 years in order to qualify. So if you want to, after you go into nursing and you want to level up, that would be excellent. I think it's pretty cool. Memorial and Erlanger, that's all you see when you get surgery. You get a CRNA.
I did not know that. I don't think
Yep,
I've ever heard of that. That is so cool.
yep,
And I'm right there with you, breaking into women, getting into male dominated
yes,
career fields is desperately needed. So
it
that is
is.
fantastic information.
Not to capitalize on all the time, but to piggyback off of Robin, nursing is a great field where you don't have to have just like a linear path. Like you can start with your LPN and then build to your RN, then BSN, and then go for your CRNA. You can start off getting your bachelor's, which is your BSN. Like there's a lot of different pathways to a nursing career, so you can just work on whatever fits your lifestyle.
Piggyback off
Oh,
that, being a chef is not a linear thing as well. There are so many different types. Most kitchens adopt something called a kitchen brigade system, where each job is done by one person. The saucier, all the sauces, butchers are primarily in charge of cutting the meat. Garde manger is in charge of cold foods. Pastry can be broken up into several different categories. There's not just one thing that you have to do. You can work your way up in a kitchen to upwards into sous chef and executive chef. Something that not a whole lot of people know. Most expediters and high-end restaurants are chefs. The expediters, or expo as most people know it as, are in charge of making sure that every single plate has the garnishes, has the proper, if they have an allergy, have it off of it before it gets sent to the table. If it is a event in their customer's life, they make sure that everything goes as it is. And they are chefs typically. They've been in the kitchen and they've moved themselves up into that. But one thing that I love personally is a roundsman, something, a chef that can do everything and that fills in as needed for their restaurant. A jack of all trades. That is my two things that not a whole lot of people know about.
yeah, I don't think I've ever heard about an expo, so that's really cool to know. Jennifer, did you have anything to share?
I would say I'm a finance person, so I would say that it's kind of boring, but it's really a really great, stable job. Like there are different paths that you can take in finance, and I'm not always behind a computer. Like I get to go out and see things and, tag machines and account for things. So it's not all completely boring, and it's a great, stable thing to get into. I don't know. That's all.
Oh, I wouldn't have
What
thought
is
about
tag
really.
machine? What does that
Yeah.
mean? You tag a machine.
So, like, because we do inventory and we would account for all of the assets that the company has, I would actually go out and where they're producing them, like the different machines that make the asphalt and stuff, we would go and every year write down everything and account for everything and verify everything, because there's a lot that goes into it, because publicly traded companies have reports that they file quarterly and that kind of thing.
Oh, I guess I never
Oh,
thought about you
cool.
guys going out and actually like looking at all of that. I just, so I should sit in front of a computer and look at spreadsheets and finances
Yeah.
and
Well, I guess because the company pays for that, so you got to make sure that what you pay for is still there and no one has walked off with it or it's slipped into
Yeah.
someone's pocketbook or something.
Yeah, and there's a whole like internal audit department that goes to all the different sites and makes sure everything is there and accounted for. Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
wow. I've learned so many cool things tonight. So what is one part of your job that just really excites you? No longer how many long you've been in it, that you just wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, I can't get to work because of what?
definitely the people. With working in a assisted living facility, I get to wake up every single day and serve my residents. They might, because I work in a memory care unit, they might not always remember what they had for dinner last night or know my name, but most of the time they remember my smile and they remember my face, and they know that they're either going to eat well today or they're going to be served with a smile. With my private clients, the praise, honestly, working with them, I know that I'm going to consistently be told my cooking's amazing, that they're so happy that I'm there. It's just genuinely a great feeling, especially with my love language being words of affirmation.
Mine are the ladies that we serve, the women we serve. Like I tell when I'm presenting, I'm like, we want men to be great. We do. Dress for Success, we want all the men to be great. We want them to be great over there. Okay, we're gonna focus on the women here, and you guys go be great somewhere else. So I just love helping them see the light on their face, changing their story. I have several of my ladies who will come in who were just released from prison or jail, so they'll have on the ankle monitor and just providing them with clothing that will hide that, and just giving them the hope that they can still work and encouraging them. It is all worth it because we think about second chances, but some of my ladies didn't even get a first chance. So something happened to them traumatic when in 12th grade. I mean, when they were 12 years old, they reacted and went into juvenile. And so they were never given a first chance. So for a lot of my ladies, this is their first chance. And helping them on their first go round, their first chance out of situations that they couldn't control is very helpful for me. It helps me be a better person, and it helps me have empathy and apathy for people as well. Just move forward and giving grace. I've learned to have much, much grace. Everybody didn't have the experience that I had. And so you have to meet people where they are. And that's what my clients, or the women we serve, or who I do this for, and what I enjoy the most.
I mean, just to echo what Gail and Robin have said, I feel like the people are the big thing that keep me coming back, whether it's stories from the work that's happening or just like the coworkers that I really enjoy hanging out with and talking to about our days. The people are like just what makes me excited and keep coming back.
Jennifer?
Oh, I would say I enjoy the people that I work with, and I enjoy my job, and I like the busy times, and it's fun. That's about it. The people I work with.
Your coworkers can make or break, or also your people that you serve also can really either help or hurt the career that you're in. So what about your range of salary? I'm not wanting you guys to say specifically how much you make, but just to give um, our viewers just kind of a broad range of your career fields and how much they could or maybe could not make. You know that the minimum amount in it, that could be hourly, that could be a salary, but just so they have a general idea. That's because statistics, whenever you are looking at statistics on a career field, doesn't always mean that translate into what is really going on. And a lot of times it also depends on where you're living. And so that all can make a difference.
So for nonprofits, you have to start with the heart first, because you are not going to be a baller nor a short caller working at a nonprofit. Okay, it is not happening. So anywhere from 28, 38 to 68, 70, and the larger the nonprofits are, the more you will make. But there are some that trick you. I was at the Y, and the Y is huge, and that the salary is still very mediocre. So it just it just depends. So the larger your nonprofit is, then probably the more that you'll make. Like the well-established nonprofits like Goodwill, Salvation Army, things like that. But if you have a good grassroots, you have to do the fundraising to keep that nonprofit growing. So you have to go out there and hustle for the funds, then to pay your staff. So, but you have to definitely have a heart for it. If you don't have a heart or a passion for that particular nonprofit, you won't last long, because you'll see work that you don't like and the salary you definitely don't like, and you won't stay there that long. So if you've got to enjoy what you do, generally, to work for a nonprofit. But I do think everyone should work for a nonprofit at least at some point in their life, just to see, or volunteer for a nonprofit, so you can see the inner workings of how it works. Because nonprofits really reach and touch a lot of people. So I think nonprofit work is important and needed work. but also all the other fields are needed too. You need teachers, you need nurses, you need all of these fields. And so, as a former teacher, the salaries, of course, teachers need to be paid the highest of the high, which they're not, but it is comparable, to live. My advice is to marry rich. That would be awesome. I wish I could do that, but I have not yet. But that is still plan A, is to marry rich. All of this is plan B. But yeah, nonprofit. So the salary for nonprofits is not large, but you have to have a passion for it.
Definitely have to agree with you there. You are not in it for the money, being a chef. There are two different variables. Working in a restaurant without a culinary degree and without building a name for yourself in the industry, you are looking at an hourly range from minimum wage. I think it's what, $7.25 to maybe 20. With a degree, with a name for yourself, you are looking at a salary of 20 all the way to 80. And in other states, it is higher. California has a higher range. Texas has a higher range, and all the states up in New England have a little bit of a higher range. But down in the South, we don't. Not, not in the slightest. So you really have to just love what you do, and you really have to put the work in.
I remember one time we did a career fair at a school in Hamilton County. And when I said what I did, one of the kids was like, nonprofit means you don't make money, right? And it's like, you do still make some money, but yeah, it's definitely more of a labor of love. And you get like some of your pay is just a reward for your work. I feel like a lot of nonprofit, there's been a lot of push, I think, lately for nonprofits to have more equitable salaries that are a better match for some of their competitors. So I think that that has been nice, just seeing more of that push. But still, like a lot of the for-profit organizations are going to pay a lot more. So it's very much just like figuring out just what is the value alignment, and is it okay for you to make a little bit less money than you could to have like a personal reward there?
Okay. So I didn't think about this question, so I just Googled it. And average accountant salary starting out is like 55,000. And I feel like that's pretty accurate. I think they're in finance and accounting, there's good money to be made with like a bachelor's degree.
So I love the wide range of everything and the different salaries for the careers. I think it also shows that sometimes education doesn't always equal out to be pay, which I think nowadays a lot of teens equate, oh, if I just get more and more education, I'll make more and more money. But I think you guys have shown that that's not necessarily the case. So, what skills do you think in your career field you use the most or you need the most, like soft
One is
skills?
building relationships. I have to be able to do that. I have to be able to talk to people of any race, color, creed. I have to be able to meet them where they are. Being able to build and maintain relationships is the most for this particular field. Yeah, so for this, for when I was teaching, it was make sure I kept my license up, make sure I was keep my SPIs to make sure my students were successful on the TCAP. That was the most important thing, making sure the students learn. But in this field, it is definitely building relationships and keeping my word because a lot of the women I've served have been let down by so many people that I'm not trying to add to that list. So being a relationship builder is probably the most skill that I use every day with every client.
I think, yeah, the relationship building is so much more important. And like a lot of times people do call it networking. Either way you call it, like relationship building, networking, it's just talking to people and like finding ways to connect with them. And that is so, so valuable. So I think, yeah, the relationship building. And then I think also just learning how to navigate challenging conversations. There are so many times in the professional field where, like, obviously we all have opinions and I maybe feel strongly about it, but because of where I'm at in my job, I can't outright say how I feel about something. So finding a way to communicate it that's still effective and direct, but not going to upset the other person that I'm talking to or like make them not want to work with me. And then the last thing that I'll say is just learning how to say no, because that's hard. But you can't do everything. And the sooner that you learn that it's okay to say no to some things and not stretch yourself super thin, the easier your life gets. So,
Good advice, especially
Yeah,
the
that was great advice.
yeah.
Learning how to say no. Great advice.
Self-care. You've got to make sure that you're leaving some part of it yourself, that work-life balance that I think just now getting, I think is being celebrated, whereas before it would not have been. So I'm glad you mentioned that. And networking. I know that's has in the past been like, oh, networking. Like I was talking with someone today, they're like, I don't even like to use that word. I'm like, but it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
For my career field, the ability to hold and retain and just learn massive amounts of information that's being constantly thrown at you, the want to learn to get better, because the process to become a chef is not a process with a clear finish. You have to want to learn. And then communication. If you do not have communication in the kitchen, someone walks up behind you, not saying behind or back, then, and they have a pot of boiling water, you turn around and go do something else on a different prep station. Next thing you know, you're both on the floor with boiling water and second-degree burns all over your body. Or someone bumps into you whenever you're breaking the line, and next thing you know, you're either cut or you're burned. Communication is probably the most important thing in a kitchen, next to your skills and your want to learn, because that means injury. Or that means that if you weren't done with something or something was temped right, then that's your customer, that's your resident, your client that you're currently putting at risk.
I like how you brought that out too, that it doesn't just affect you, it affects the others around you.
Communication can make or break a team.
Oh, and I would say, like, for me, time management, managing my different things, different tasks that I want to get done in the day, and how can I make sure I get everything done?
There's not enough hours in the day. I wish there was. Oh.
So what is one habit that you wish you would have known as a teen to start kind of cultivating to prepare you for where you're at now?
I mean, just because of the way I was raised, communication, like,
Yeah.
I wish that there had been a way that I could have worked on that sooner in my life, learned how to communicate conflict, learn how to communicate more directly, learn how to build relationships in a like positive way, that wasn't transactional. You know, all of those types of skills, I feel like were things that I wish that I'd learned. I feel like unfortunately that is challenging with youth because you can't control the environment that you're in, but you can take steps to acknowledge habits that maybe you have that aren't healthy or beneficial and try to work to change them, at least on a personal level.
Definitely have to agree with you there. Learning how to talk to people is crucial. Learning communication, healthy communication, learning, probably for me specifically, I wish I would have focused more on learning how to handle high stress situations in a very healthy manner, because it's hard. It's hard to take a step back whenever you're neck deep up the creek and your head chef's looking at you and he's like, why aren't all these things done? And you just want to look at him and say, leave me alone. And you can't do that. You can't.
I wish I learned to be proactive instead of reactive. I am now, but that was through a lot of mistakes and trial and error and being called out on my nonsense. And so, yeah, so I wish I had practiced practice the pause, think before I react, and learning that everything doesn't deserve a reaction and everything is not a disaster.
Yes.
You have to step back and look at it. If this can be fixed, okay, just calm down, take a step back, think about it. Everything is not detrimental. It's a speed bump. You could get over this, but yeah, I wish I had learned that and practiced that early in my career because it was definitely a hard lesson to learn.
But on that same note, just like if you fail at something, it's not the end of the world. It's okay. Can you learn something from it? And if you can, like
Mm,
take that into the next time you try. Like
yeah,
just because something didn't work out doesn't mean that like you're a terrible person or that you necessarily did a bad job. Sometimes there are factors that have nothing to do with you that can lead to that. So,
Or learning how to pivot from that. If you made a mistake and it is fixable, thinking in the moment, how can you fix it?
hmm,
Crash out after you fix the mistake. You just have to fix it first.
yeah.
So how do you define success?
I feel like you have to create your own definition of success. You can't look to somebody else's definition because what I think makes me successful may not be what Robin thinks is a successful person, and that's completely okay.
Love that. That is absolutely amazing.
Just getting up and doing the work every day makes you successful, even when you feel like you have failed at something, like Gail said, getting up and trying it again. Yeah, like as Rachel said as well, success is different for everyone, and it depends on the particular field. Some fields, success is measured for you. I know the teaching field, success is if your students pass the TCAP or whatever it's called now, how many of them were successful with that, and that is how you are judged. So it just depends on your field, but sometimes your success is laid out for you. And sometimes you have to create your own and what you feel is successful. So it's going to be different for everyone.
And it's okay not to have a definition for success. I don't yet. I am currently working on how to figure out and strive for that. It is okay not to know all.
I think you hit the nail on the head with that one, Gail, of saying that it's okay not to know everything.
Mhm.
I think that's important for our teens to remember is that they don't have to know it all now. And actually, at 50, I don't know that I still know even a
Correct.
smidge of what I need. And that's okay. I
And
think
I think we need to
sometimes,
prepare for changes too. When as we are young adults and we come up and we're going to college, we have this idea, like I just knew I was going to teach. I was going to do it for the rest of my life. And then when that shifted, it messed with me. I was like, well, what am I supposed to do next? So just know that one thing that is consistent is change. Things will always change. You may step into a field. I just used me. I stepped into education. I was going to save the world and save the babies. And they got about 10 years and I was sick of them. I was like, oh no, I can't do this. I just, yuck. So, it just, yuck. And so it changes. And that messed with me for a little bit. I was like, I just knew for the rest of my life I was going to be a teacher. And so you have to know that there will be changes. There will be hills and valleys. There will be a husband or a wife that walks into your life out of nowhere. There will be children. There'll be passing of parents. There'll be just several things. There'll be a layoff. There'll be so and you just have to know that the change is will come. It will happen. You can set out a plan, but you need to also be flexible for when the plan changes. Don't be so stuck and dead set on something because if it goes a different way, that sets you back mentally. And so you just want to always be open for some type of change and grace with the plan that you set for your life.
absolutely. Is there any other advice that you're like, oh, I wish I would have known this. I wish somebody would have told me.
Be prepared to not have pretty hands or arms for the rest of your uh,
Yeah, I don't know that that would have ever been thought of.
you're going to be covered in scars, but in this career field, your hands are your resume.
Ooh.
Not every field is 9 to 5. I have to do some stuff on the weekends. There are workshops there in the evening like this. So not everything is 9 to 5. So if you know that's for sure what you're looking for, you want to look for positions that fit that. and try to stay focused on work-life balance as well. And when you are off, be completely off. Don't look at your phone. Don't check emails. It's really easy to do
Ooh,
because everything is on my phone. And so, but you have got to set a boundary, a work boundary for yourself. I am on the ship. I am not looking at these emails. There's nothing I can do about it in the middle of the sea anyway. So you just got to you have to set work boundaries for yourself.
I, I think that is very hard, especially now where everything is so accessible.
Mhm.
Definitely.
See, that unfortunately doesn't work for being a chef because you need to eat. And most chefs that I know, myself included, I ordered DoorDash today because I could not bear the thought of cooking for myself. But you need to continually, even when you're not at work, continually bettering your craft, whether you're reading
Mhm.
textbook or you're practicing a skill that you're lacking in. Unfortunately, being a chef is something that you're always going to be thinking about on and off switch for it.
Yeah, I see all the cookbooks behind you.
So I don't know if I have an off switch. I have an ignore switch though. Like I will know something. I will literally say I have a lot to do, but it will get done tomorrow. And I just have
Oh,
to I just ignore it. So I don't necessarily turn off. The wheels are still turning, but I cannot do it. I have got to sit down in front of my TV and watch some Golden Girls for about an hour or so to relax
Yes.
my brain. I just can't do it.
that's good mentioning. Yes. Turning everything, just saying a hard stop. No.
Yeah.
Say for me, that it's okay to pivot. It's okay to change. If you aren't liking what you're doing, like try something new. I know
Mhm.
someone who got a degree in education, did that for like a year, and then was like, I hate this, and went back to pharmacy school. Like,
Yeah.
like it's your life. If you're not happy doing what you thought you would be happy doing, that's okay. You only know what you know. And like, if you find out that you hate it, do something else. Like, don't stick with something that you hate. So,
Yeah, I agree with
Agreed.
that. It's, and I think it does. It's, you kind of get in a mindset when you're a little younger that, oh, this is, people ask, oh, what are you going to do? You graduate and stuff, and you have this idea, and it's sometimes hard to pivot, even if you hate
Mhm.
something, because you've told everyone that you're going to be doing this, and then all of a sudden you realize that you absolutely do not want to do it. But then how do you, like, gracefully, they feel like they can't gracefully back out of it and go do something else. And so I think that's definitely an important point, that at any time you can switch, and that's okay.
The sooner you realize that no one else's opinion of you matters,
Ooh,
the sooner
Yeah.
that you understand that you're not going to make everybody happy, that people are going to be disappointed of you no matter what you do, the freer you will feel and the
Mhm.
more you can perfect your craft, whether it is finance, whether it is doing things for the ladies, whether it is being a public service agent, the freer you will feel and the lighter you will feel, and the more you will be able to do everything you want to do. I'm
Yeah.
that, and I think most of us on this panel are.
great points. Jennifer, do you have anything to add?
I would say just, be true to who you are and don't worry what other people's opinions are.
Yeah, this is amazing advice. And I think our teens definitely need to hear that. Does anyone else have anything that they would like to share about their career that maybe I didn't ask, but you're like, oh, I wish you would ask, that you've been dying to tell me about?
Don't be afraid to ask. If you are having a summer job, as I assume that 16-year-olds do, and you are working in a kitchen, don't be afraid to look at your manager and ask to be put on a different position or to be trained for a different position. If you're working in a restaurant, don't hesitate to ask. The worst that they can say is no, and the worst you can do is ask again in a week. And please be safe with your knife if you're going to practice your knife skills. Use a cutting board. Do not put it all over the place. Please go grab a band-aid. And just overall watch videos extensively of other people cutting or doing any other skill before you just go willy-nilly and grabbing a knife.
I think that's great advice.
Yes. Doing research will get you far, but also being willing to forsake all the knowledge you think you know whenever you get in with a chef. Because I guarantee you, I am this right now. You do not know as much as you think you do.
Oh, that's a great point. Being able to admit that you don't know everything and are able to and want the desire to learn. Rachel, Jennifer, do you guys have anything extra to add?
No, I
No.
feel like everybody's hit a lot of really great points. Just, do what makes you happy at the end of the day and you measure your own success. So,
Well, I appreciate you ladies taking the time today to share your careers and your passion. You can hear it in your voice, you can see it on your face. And so I greatly appreciate you. Now, for anyone that's watching this, if you end up having any questions, you can email me at angela@riseupcooperative.org and we can connect you. Because one thing keep in mind is sometimes how you find the careers that you want to do is by making those connections, that networking that we were talking about, that relationship. And I'm sure most of us, if not all of us, are willing to share our knowledge more in depth. So if you're wanting to reach out, please do, and I can connect you with these ladies.